Welcome back to ONYX Financial Track. This is Ultimate Academy's team and we are still on the customer module. We previously covered the first screen, which was the AR parameters, and now we will start with customer types. Let's bring up the screen. And in this screen we can add or create types for our customers, like local customers and foreign customers and so on. We'll click on add. The type number is automatic and you will just need to put in the name and the foreign name for this type. Next screen we have is gonna be customer degree. Alright, so you'll click on add. The degree number is automatic and you will just put in also the name and the foreign name. Moving on to the next screen. Alright, so the next screen is going to be customer class type. We use the screen in case we want to create different customer classes like class A, B, C, and so on. Alright, so that's basically everything for this screen. We'll move on to the next one, which is sales representative types. From the screen, we create types for our representatives. Like, for example, a representative that strictly works with major clients and other representatives who handle other clients. You will click on add. As we're used to, the number is automatic. And you will just enter the name and the foreign name. Alright, so we'll move on to the next screen, which is credit card types. Alright, so here we add credit card types that we accept in sales transactions in our facility. When we click on view, we will find that we already have one type that is put in by default, and that one is called credit card. If we want to add another type, we will click on add. The credit card type is automatic, which is the ordinal number. Alright, and then we will enter the credit card name and the foreign name. The service center address is the address of the bank that will accept or receive this payment through the existing account that we have with that bank. Service center phone and email are also the bank's. In some countries, these financial transactions are taxed, so you will just enter the percentage if this is applicable in your country. Alright, so we will click on fill new machines so we can link this type of cards with the machines that we have across the branches. The machines basically that the customer will use this card with to make their payment. We will not add any data in this table for now because we have not yet added the machines, which we will add from another screen later on. The most important thing in this screen is calculate commission to customer. I want you guys to notice that if we checked this variable, then the customer will have to pay for the bank's commission on this payment transaction. In case we uncheck the box though, then we are the ones who will be paying for the commission from our end. So it's going to be on the facility, not the customer. Now we'll move on to the next screen, which is credit card data. Okay. So in this screen, we add the machines that we talked about in the previous screen. Click on add. Machine number is automatic. In bank number, you will hit F9 and select the bank that the transactions on this machine will reflect on. So you're going to be receiving all the payments made through this machine on that bank. After you select the bank, the account number and the bank name both are going to be automatic. In commission account, we hit F9 and we select the account that the bank's commission would reflect on. And that is, of course, in case we are the ones paying for the commission, not our customers. As for warehouse number, that is in case we want to link this machine to a specific warehouse, which is the one that will come up on the sales invoice. This means that this machine will only accept payments for purchases that came out of that warehouse, the one we select here. Inactive, so if we check that box, then we've disabled this machine And if we check that box, the system automatically brings up the inactive date, inactive user, and it will ask you to put in the reason why it's inactive. As for notes receivable, so this one works more with the exchange offices or banks, as they deal with machines that basically accept checks or notes receivable in general. So we will hit F9 in the field and select the account on which the value of these notes receivable would reflect on or be recorded. And of course, after we select the account name is going to be automatic. Okay, so the next screen we're going to discuss is additional sales discount request types. So in the screen, we create requests for additional discounts by clicking on Add. Request number is going to be automatic, and we will just put in the name and the foreign name. Oh, and by the way, a quick reminder, since this is a new module, don't forget to put the foreign name in English if you are using the English interface. Alright, so the next screen we have is going to be additional sales discount types. In this screen, we create types for additional discounts. And side note, it's better to unify the additional discount requests and the additional discount types. And that is just to make things easier and more clear, so there won't be any kind of confusion. Alright, so I guess by now you guys know how to deal with most of the screens. Basically, you click on Add, the number of the entry is automatic, you type in the name and the foreign name. So these rules apply for the screens sales invoice types, sales return request types, return sales types, receipt document types, and also sales return reasons. Now we'll talk about the commission screens, and I want you guys to understand something, that the steps we will follow to create commissions for, let's say, the salesman are going to be the same exact steps that we will use to create the rest of the commissions, which are for our customers if they have a certain number of points, commission for collectors, employees, and also marketeers. We'll go through one screen so you guys would basically see how it works and be able to work with the rest of the commission screens on your own. Alright, so the screen is going to be commission salesman encoding. You will click on Add. Type number is automatic. Enter the name and the foreign name. In Sales Representative Commission Type drop-down menu, we have the options General, by Salesman, or by Salesman Type. General means that this type of commission we're creating right now in this screen can be applied to any salesman that we have in the facility. By Salesman means that we can select specific salesmen who can take this commission. And by salesman type means that we can select a specific salesperson type or types who would take this commission. For example, retail salespersons. If we select general, the screen remains exactly the way it is. But if we select by salesman, for example, the system adds a table. And in that table, you will need to specify the representative or the salesman and the percentage of the commission for each salesman. However, if we select by salesman type, we'll find that the table changes, so you would enter the type and the type name, and of course you will also need to specify the percentage. For example, we will select one salesman and say that they will take 10% commission sales. And by the way, in commission type, we have two options, either percent or value. We just gave you guys an example if you want to use the percentage, but if you want to go with value, then in the table you will enter the actual amount of the commission. Commission type by item, we have 5 options there. Not use means that we will not link this type of commission to any item, and it is going to be linked to the salesman directly. If we select by item, then in the table you will define the item itself so that we can link the salesman to a specific item. In this type of commission, I mean. This means that this salesman will not get any commission except on their sales for this specific item. As for by item group, it's going to be the same concept, but this is a group of items. In the table, item code is going to change to group code, and item name will be group name. That is if we select that option, of course. As for by item type and by alternative group, both of those are the exact same idea. We will go with by item, and by the way, the column in the table below that says unit, that is the measurement unit that we specified for each item. Customer commission type, the drop-down menu contains 3 options: general, by customer class, and by customer group. General means it will give the commission to the salesman for the items, for this item's sales for any customer. By customer class means that the commission will be given to the salesman for this item's sales, but for a specific customer class, and we can determine that customer class in the field customer type. And after, of course, you select the class, the name of the class will come up automatically. By customer group is the same idea. Alright, so as for use commission slices, we have not use, and then we have net sales amount. Once we select that option, it will give us 2 new columns in the table, from amount and to amount. In these 2 fields, what we will do is that we will determine the limits of the net sales value so that this salesperson can get their commission for this specific item with this specific customer group when they achieve net sales value after the discount, of course, in the range that we've determined, or within the range that we've determined. As for sales plan, it's the same idea regarding the table, and we'll get the variable separate target slices of excess target slices. If we activate this variable, the system will separate the achieved slice from any excess. It will put the overachievement in a different slice. Then we have quantity, and it is the same idea as the option net sales amount, but here the system will ask you to specify the quantity in the table. If we select quantity, the system will also give us the field calculation method. The drop-down menu contains the option from sales net amount, and it will also give you the variable by multiplication quantity. Sorry though, it says there that, well, it's written wrong. It says complication, but yeah, we mean multiplication. If you activate this variable, the system adds a column supposed to be multiplication quantity, and this is where you add the quantities that are larger than the limits that you've set. Which means that if the salesperson achieved the target or the multiplication of that target, they will get the commission. Alright, so calculation method for slices target, we have 2 options here. Calculate commission for all slices. To explain this point, we created this simple little graph here. So if we have these target slices and the salesperson achieved all of these slices, the system will apply the commission for the first, and then it will apply a commission for all of the overachievement. So if the salesperson sold goods for $5,000 in total, let's say, the system will add up all the commissions and apply the total. Alright, so the second option that we have is gonna be, calculate commission for one slice, verify. Let's also see a graph to understand this one. So this option means that if the salesperson achieved $5,000 as well, the system will multiply the commission for the highest value by the total achieved sales. Alright, so I guess that's it for this one. Then we have the variable calculate commission by pay type, and if we activate this one, the system adds a column called payment type. If we click on the arrow, we'll find different payment types, so we can select the one that we want to link to this commission. Then we have inactive, and if we check that box, then we've deactivated this type of commission. Alright, so that is it for the screen, and that is it for the lecture. Thank you guys for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, and we will see you again soon.